Hi, good day. My name's Elim. I'm an Oracle certified SQL expert. I'm going to show you how to retrieve data from the database today. First of all, the target audience of this video is for person that need to use our Oracle database to retrieve information but does not have any IT backgrounds. So let's go through. Before we go through how do we actually get the data from the database, let's go through how does data being stored in the database. Data are stored in the different tables in the database. So that means in one database, what we got inside the database is just tables and tables. We have many tables in one database, and everything, same kind of informations are stored within the same same tables. For example, you might have the customer detail tables, which store the customer name, address, contact details. That's for all customers in a company, but their orders, even that's for those customers, their orders usually will stored under a different table, which is called the customer order table. And I guess it's the same things that we are doing in the paper world. That company will have a directory for customer phone book, etc., which stored all the contact detail for the customer, while their orders will be filed in a different folders. So let's go back to our database world. What is a table? A table is simply something that consists of columns and rows. Different columns in a database in a database table representing different kind of information for the same record. One row is one record. So let's have a look at our database and see how do we actually store data. Okay. Now, this is an actual table from a database. This table is called employee contact table. You can see that we have columns, a lot of different columns in the table, and a lot of different rows. One row here representing one employee contact detail, because this is an employee contact table. One rows represent one employee contact, while one column representing the same column representing what kind of information does it storing. For example, here this is telling us that this column stores the email address for a particular employee, and this row indicate that this email address, this last name, phone number, etc. are for the same employee. Say, for example, this is telling me that this person, Maxwell Upland, the email address is maxwell0@adventure_works.com, and this is a phone number, this is a contact ID for this particular person. So this is how our database store data. So how do we actually manipulate those data, and also how do we actually retrieve those data? What kind of things do we use to do that? We actually use the SQL statement. We normally call it SQL statement. We don't call it SQL. SQL statement stands for Standard Query Language. It is a special purpose programming language that is designed for managing data held in a relational database management system, or for stream processing in a relational data stream management system. Relational data management system example of that is Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, etc. They are all quite famous RDBMS. But what does that actually means? What does SQL actually means? It just means that it's a language that is some kind of computer language, programming language that allowing us to control the database, to use it to get information that we want, to use it to instruct it, or to store information for us. So what language, or should say what sentence that we're going to use to instruct the computer to retrieve information for us? We're using the select statement. And instead, the select statement have a couple of different sections. First of all, the select, then followed by column names, which is indicate the columns that you want to get from the database. From, this is a term. What kind of table do you want? Which table that you want the information from? And what is the condition? Where, and the condition. So let's go back to our database and see how do we actually work. For example, now I want to select everything from the employee contact table. So how do I request instruct the Oracle database to do it for me? So select, as I want all column, I simply say put the star. The star key means all column in Oracle. From employee contact. Remember, let's go back to our PowerPoint. Select from the column, from a table, so we have select from the table name, and then put a comma at the end, semicolon at the end, and run it. Now you can see that the Oracle database gives me every columns under the employee contact, and also it pull out every rows. You see, it just keep rolling, more and more rows. It actually gives you every rows that I want. That is available from the table, which means that the Oracle database is giving me everything from this employee contact table. Now, what if I just want to pick the first name, last name, title, email address, and the phone number? And I don't want to see anything else. Say password, whatever. I don't want to see that. What can I do? Simply select. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. Okay. Select. Select different columns from table. Now try it. Select. So I just want the first name, comma, last name. I got the title first. Title, first name, last name, email, and the phone number. From employee contact. Then let's run again. To run the query, you can click the run button from here, or simply click press Ctrl Enter from your keyboard. You can see that now, after I run the query, Oracle database only give me the columns that I want, which is the title, first name, last name, email address, and the phone. So what if that I don't want now the phone number is stored at the last column of the table, but what if I want it to be placed before the email address? Simple. I just swap the ordering between the phone column and the email address column. Then run the query again. You can see it now. The phone goes before the email. And one thing is now Oracle still give me all rows, that is also say every employee details. But for example, what if that I just want to have the employee name is for the first, where the first name is, say this one, Sabrina. I just want to run this row, Sabrina apart room. How to do that? Okay. Again, select title, the first column, followed by comma, and then first name, followed by comma, last name, followed by comma, phone, followed by comma, email address. This time you don't need to put a comma, because the comma is actually used to separate. The purpose of comma is actually to separate between two columns that's going to be present in the report. And then now from employee contact, where now I want to say that the first name of the person is Sabrina. First name is Sabrina. Remember one thing, that is we haven't go through that at the moment, but Oracle actually have to specify the type of data that you want to present. That is in a specific way. For example, whether it's a number, whether it is a string or whatever, but we'll go through that later. But at this stage, you have to remember one thing is, for everything, whatever it is characters, you have to start with a single quote, and after the character you have to end with a single quote. Like this one here, I have single quote and then Sabrina and a single quote. See what's the result. Now let's run again. Now you see I got the Sabrina Aquarium already. Cool. But what if one thing, let's go back one step. Say if I just want to have the title is Miss, what can I do? MS. Right now, you can see that, wow, I have a lot of different employees. Now this time, I don't want to have Sabrina. This time, for example, I want to have Mary, which is here. What can I do? But I also want to specify that this merit is only with the title MS, although it should be always true. But anyway, how to do it? We should use the N first name equals Mary. Then let's have a look. Now you can show that, this is a Mary. Okay, cool. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, I guess this is the end for today's presentation, and I hope this is informative. Thank you for viewing.